Hey everybody, it is Saturday the 20th. Happy 420 for those of you who think that's actually a holiday. Let's take a look at our stocks. Bill, we still had this one on our watch list, and I think that for Monday, it's probably a decent short if we get a little bit of a rally and then fall back below the 1 and 2 day volume weighted average price. If that's the case, I think your worst case stop goes at $61.73 per share, just above that declining 5 day moving average. As we know, it's below all the key moving averages and anchored VWAPs, etc. I'm still thinking that I was actually surprised at the number of decent looking setups I found. I don't look for longs, I don't look for shorts, and I found some longs and shorts that look decent. I don't try to read into it and say the market has to do this or that, or I don't look at it and say 9 out of 10 times the market has done this or that. I just look at it on an individual stock basis. To me, that's where the true advantage in trading is, not at trying to look at seasonality or past events, etc. It's all each stock on its own merits. And I found some decent longs and shorts, but I'm still suggesting that if you trade them, that you should probably do smaller share size than you would normally do. The mining stocks, are looking decent as we have gold up holding on to its gains, silver holding on to its gains. So some of these miners like Coeur d'Alene, it's got a great looking weekly chart. Let's take a look here at that. Beautiful stage two breakout. And this is the type of stock that, who knows, maybe it can finally sustain a move. It's been nothing but a downtrend for the last 30 years or so. But maybe now this is a real beginning of a move. We've got some significant volume, and here in the shorter term time frame, we're below that anchor from that peak. I don't view that as a big deal. I think you get it back above Friday's high of 453, that you can get involved for a swing with a trade of with a stop rather of $4.36 per share. Fortuna Silver, as we had mentioned, also another great looking breakout here on the weekly time frame, and shorter term time frame gets back above Friday's high. Maybe some of you purchased it on Friday, but if it gets back above that 473, I think you can get involved with a stop under here. That will put your stop then at $4.57 per share. The Globe, GLBE, Global E line, we've mentioned this one a couple times as a potential short sale candidate. We're below all the anchored volume weighted average price levels, including holding below the anchor from the IPO back here. And I guess we're not below this one, but that's potentially where this market drops to, down near that 31-ish level. Short term, we need to see a little bit of a rally, maybe somewhere 33 and a quarter-ish or so, and then to drop down. Ideally, it drops to here. Not a price target, just a level of interest. I don't do price targets. To me, they're foolish. We have to have an idea of where the stock has the potential to go. But once we're in the trade, our job is risk management, not to salivate over big price targets. So GLBE, little bit of a rally, and then short it below the 1 and 2 day volume weighted average price. I think your stop goes right up here, $33.78 per share. Goler, once again, is looking like a good setup. We had a really nice trade, if you recall, over in here. It wasn't really so much that it was a really nice trade, but if you recall, we had almost gotten stopped out twice based on these opens, I believe it was, below our stops, but we adjusted and held on. So anyways, it's setting up again. Here's our weekly chart. Same thing, beautiful stage two breakout. So there's still good, healthy looking stocks. It's just not in the stocks that everyone wants to talk about. Everyone wants to talk about NVIDIA. Well, guess what? It's breaking down. Who cares? Leave it alone. Let it settle down. There's no reason to try and buy just because it's at the year-to-date anchor. That's stupid. That's a recipe for losing your money. Anyways, I'm off subject here. Let's go back to GLNG. I think you get this one back above Friday's high, which was $25.30. You can get involved with a stop under here, $24.89 per share. Now, some other names to keep an eye on. Again, for those of you who think that 420 is a holiday, maybe you're looking at some of these pot stocks like ACB. It's probably still a little bit early in there. Longer term weekly chart. maybe this is the beginning of something bigger. We'll see. But keep an eye on this one. I'd really kind of like to see it pull back a little bit again and then hammer through that month to date anchored VWAP. Boot still holds up well. It just holding up in relative. I see all the time people saying, look for the relative strength leaders. Relative strength leaders, sure. I mean, it's a clue, but it's not an end all. Here's your next winner. This one just might be a day or two late to breaking down. We don't know. Just because it holds up relative to the market doesn't mean anything special in my mind. The weekly chart, we've got some room to run, as we've previously mentioned. I don't trust it fully yet. Let's just keep an eye on it, see how it develops throughout the week. EQX, it's another mining stock. It's Equinox Gold. So same story on the weekly time frame. And maybe we ought to just look at GDX. GDX, it doesn't look as good as these stocks, though. We've got potential supply up in there where it's looked at. So, if you want to be real conservative, then you look at GDX. If you want to get some bang for your buck, then you go look at stocks like EQX and the other ones I've mentioned. Maybe it needs a day or two and then gets going. Pan American Silver has had this beautiful rally, close to a double, but it's got a nice breakout past here. It broke this level and trapped people, so it might still need a little bit more time to consolidate, and hopefully it gets a little bit of a shakeout and then gets going. But it's another one worth keeping an eye on for the miners. Another shipping play is global ship lease. So we're seeing some themes here, and I didn't look for shipping stocks. I didn't look for mining stocks. I simply looked at a long list of stocks like I always do, and this is what the market's telling me. Our job is to listen to the message of the market. This GSL is getting ready, perhaps, to break to a nice stage 2 uptrend on the weekly time frame. Perhaps this is your next good investment idea that could see it up towards the upper 20s. If you're an investor, if you're looking to put things away for more than a swing trade, this is the type of stock you ought to be looking at, trying to get comfortable with, and then waiting for a swing trade entry. We don't see a swing trade entry yet, so why would you buy it for an investment? If we can't buy it as a swing trade, don't bullshit yourself into thinking, well, I'll just buy it now because it's in my long-term account. Because when you bullshit yourself like that, here's what typically happens. Then you're down here going, oh, well, it's in my long-term account. I'll add some. And then you end up with the biggest loser in your account over the next 2-3 years. Wait for it to set up. If it can't survive a day trade, it can't survive as a swing trade. If it can't survive as a swing trade, it can't survive as an investment. That's just basic, let the price action dictate. So GSL, we'll start to keep an eye on it. We're not looking for it to break down. We're looking for, ideally, a shakeout, and then it comes back up in here and starts to show us a little bit better setup. Another weed stock to keep an eye on is VFF. Here's the weekly chart on that one. So we've got gold, we've got weed, we've got shippers. Those seem to be the themes. I wasn't looking for themes. The themes revealed themselves. Have a good weekend.